It's kind of scary how fast time is moving, and if you're anything like me, a part of you is excited for 2026. And then another part of you is like, wait, am I actually ready? This episode isn't about pressure or being perfect. It's about setting yourself up so that future you doesn't feel overwhelmed. Hello, and welcome back to Trying My Best podcast. Today's episode is about how I'm planning for success in 2026, realistically, gently, and without burning myself out. Before we even talk about planning, I think it's important to talk about what success actually means. Because if success to you is just grades, productivity, or being ahead of everyone else, then no matter what, you're always gonna feel like you're failing. Because let's be real, there will always be someone out there who is better than you, smarter than you, or has put in more hours than you. But that is not to say that you cannot improve and excel in your own journey. For me, success in 2026 means feeling grounded, not constantly catching up. It means showing up with resilience even when things are hard. I want to feel peaceful and secure in my emotions, not swaying with anxiety every time a minor issue comes up. I want to feel confident in my success because of the systems that I plan. Now, one thing I'm forcing myself to do in 2026 is actually looking at what didn't work. I feel like in previous years I kind of brushed past this, but it is so important to intentionally reflect, especially in a time where we are all distracted by noise. Here are some prompts that you can write about. What drained me this year? What did I overcommit to? What habits actually stuck? Under what circumstances did I become burned out or anxious? To make this more specific and personal, you can also think about your goals. For me, a big part of my goal is to not become distracted and just be more productive. So what I'm planning to do on the last day of 2026 is to write down everything I do in a day, to look at the patterns and notice where things go wrong. Basically pointing out the times when I do useless stuff like scrolling on my phone or opening YouTube before I do work. Remember, planning without reflection just means repeating the same mistakes but louder. Now, I'm not gonna be planning my 2026 around motivation, and you shouldn't be either. Because motivation disappears the second life gets hard. Rather, it's the simple routines that will determine your success. Default habits will compound, curating the future that you want. This is because systems catch you on days when your motivation isn't there. For example, right, you brush your teeth every single day, even if you feel really sleepy or groggy, because it's a part of your routine. It's easy to do, and you have been doing it every day since you were little. We want to make working on your goals a habit like brushing your teeth. Okay, so here's the part where I explain how I'm actually planning. Not in a Pinterest way, but in a realistic and grounded way. Step 1 is to pick 3 focus areas only. If everything becomes a priority, then nothing is. For example, you can prioritize school, physical health, and your mental well-being. Step number 2 is really important, and it is to turn goals into systems. Instead of just saying, I want to do better in school, think of what that means week by week. For example, that might mean 3 focused study blocks per weekend, 1 hour of revision after school, and phones away during study sessions. This is where your planning becomes real. I want you to look week to week, day to day, hour by hour when you're thinking of this. Get your calendars and planners out, because this is gonna make or break your 2026. Now, I'm not going to be planning for the version of me that's motivated. I'm going to be planning for the version of me that feels overwhelmed, tired, and exhausted. You want to have bare minimum routines and short to-do lists, because default habits, like brushing your teeth, they're easy and simple, and that's why they stick. Now, even though I just talked about really specific, precise planning, I'm not making a strict plan for the whole year. We're gonna be setting monthly check-ins because your circumstances will not be the same throughout the 365 days ahead, okay? It's really important for you to add mini reflection/planning sessions in your year. Here, you can reflect on what worked, what didn't, what has to change, and also what is happening in this month that requires you to adapt. This feels gentle, not scary, and it's also how you're going to be able to be consistent throughout the whole year. Planning like this doesn't mean that you'll never fail, it just means that you'll never be lost. If you want, you can pause this video now and write down the steps, or you can just save it for later. Instead of setting a long, exhaustive list of 20 goals, I'm focusing on being the kind of person that can handle responsibility. For example, I want to be someone who finishes things, who takes intentional rest, someone who doesn't panic under pressure. Your work, success, and just life is like a mirror of your identity. No successful person is irresponsible or lazy because certain traits align with who you will become. If you're feeling behind, you're not late. If you're unsure, that doesn't mean you're failing. We still have time, and I'm right here trying my best too. If this helped, you can subscribe or come back whenever you need a reminder. And until next time, keep trying your best because that's more than enough.